Welcome to the Brain Health Hookup. I'm Laurel Myers Hurst, your resident groovologist, and I believe that better mental health needs to be fun. Here we talk about mental wellness, we explore the physical, emotional, and relational needs we have as humans with the science and practices that help our mental health to flourish. Plus, we dive into my signature method, groove therapy, that engages folks in groove-based music making to lift mood and lower inflammation and pain. I'm so glad you're here. So let's hit it.
Well.
That's a deep subject.
I am fresh from the WellTuned Woman retreat. We had an amazing time in a beautiful mansion of a cabin in Hocking Hills, Ohio. I was there with a team, my daughters on cooking and makeup artistry, videographer, photographer, really 6 beautiful, well-appointed rooms, a full studio for body work and a full living room where we had all the drums available. It was a beautiful time. But I really want to give you 3 takeaways that are on my mind now that the retreat is complete. The first thing is that, and don't hate me because I'm the messenger, but I said several times during the course of the retreat that women together talk in a way that we don't make time for day to day. We just don't have the opportunity. But in the course of doing quote unquote women's work in the past, women did have unique opportunities to be together, to talk together, and to do what we set aside this weekend to do, to desensitize and reprocess past painful experiences. Got to thinking though that in truth, women doing work together, washing clothes by a river, tanning hides and planting gardens, that these things, while we're doing them, we have a roller coaster effect of communication from very activating topics where all the women present might have their eyes brimming with tears, and then low activation topics like how fine to mince or chop the onions in a certain dish. These are the ways women's communication typically flow. High activation, low activation, high activation, low activation. So just by the normal course of things in normal women's work, we are truly dipping our toe into the depth of intense emotion and then coming out to the present moment and dipping into those past painful topics and coming back to the present moment. This swinging back and forth between past painful experiences and the present moment is the entire task of desensitization. And in community, we're also processing or reprocessing those events. So it's very special that we got to have time away with women to do specific work with desensitization and reprocessing using drumming. But I wonder, in generations of women past for hundreds or thousands of years, how much of the normal things we did were bilateral, like drumming, 2 hands, and also that jumping into the deep end emotionally and then coming out to the present moment, and got our mental health squared away in very organic ways. So that was my first big takeaway, a huge takeaway. Second takeaway, and I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I am really good at event planning. We went away to a far distant location, and there was not a single thing I had not thought of for the entire time. And we provided all the food for our guests. All the activities were squared away, gifts and surprises and all sorts of things. And Not a single thing did I leave out in the planning process. I have to pat my back for that, my own back, or toot my own horn, as it were. My third takeaway from this retreat is a piece of advice I'm going to pass on secondhand. It came from Carolee Galt, the CEO of the Productivity Impact. She told me, when you're planning a retreat, double the time you figure every activity is going to take and have the number of activities you want to get done. I followed that exact plan and the schedule was amazing. Everybody had time to get from one thing to the other. There was plenty of time for getting snacks and having side conversations and an ease and a flow about things that made everyone feel like they were just in the lap of luxury, being spoiled and catered to. And thank you, Carolee, for that bit of advice about the planning and the schedule, the tempo of the schedule. It really did work out wonderfully. If you're thinking of joining us for a series of somatic desensitization or reprocessing, like we've talked about in other episodes, there are several opportunities every year to plug into the WellTuned Woman. And our next retreats will be just as fabulous as this one in schedule and activities, and the locations are going to vary. We will at least do one stateside retreat a year. That's the plan, but maybe one or two in foreign locations. So if there's somewhere you'd really like to go, I'd love to hear where that would be. And I've got to get my passport ready. Remember that we are working on this shoulder to shoulder mental wellness process. And together we do have everything we need.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Brain Health Hookup. I hope this episode radiates with the conviction that generating mental wellness needs to be fun and safe. We want you to find your power and understand your innate design to flourish in everything you do. And we hope that inspires you to come back and listen for more. I'd love for you to leave a review of this podcast, as it helps this show grow to reach more people who need to make mental wellness fun. You can find the leave a review button, as well as all the YouTube visuals, bonuses, and ways we can help to support you on our website, podcast.grooveforhealth.com. I appreciate you more than words can say. See you next time, and remember, together we have everything we need.